Hi, Elaine here. Today I'll share the secrets of how to create perfect page numbers in Affinity Publisher for iPad. And just like the video I've done previously for the desktop version, it's not just simple page numbers either. I'll include creating a text style for the page numbers, I'll show how sections give you superpowers in the page numbering department, and I'll show how master pages can be nested to create flexible formatting. But first, let's take a look at what we've got. This is the file, and tapping on the Pages panel, I can navigate through it to show you what we already have. So the front cover, then I've got the front matter, then I've got the table of contents, and if I move down, I've got the actual contents of the book. And you will see there are no page numbers in there at all at the moment. The most efficient way to add page numbers is to use master pages, and there's already one master page in this file. But being an iPad, we access it in a different way than we do the desktop version. So it is using the Pages panel that we have displayed at the moment, but at the top we have an arrow to the left and an arrow to the right. Because at the moment in Affinity Publisher for iPad there's only Pages and Master Pages, it doesn't matter which of those you use, they will both take you to the same place, which is the Masters section. And if I double tap on there, you can see that we have a Master Page A. It has 2 text frames on it, but it does not have anywhere for page numbers, and that's what we're going to do with this. First thing I need to do is to add somewhere for the page number to go. And in here I'm going to choose the text frame tool, and I'm going to draw out a text frame on the left hand page. Then it would be a good idea to zoom in a bit so we can see what's actually going on. I'm going to tap in there, and we have 2 options when it comes to adding the page number, and I'm going to show you both methods. So the first method is to use the Fields panel, tapping on the 3 dots in there and then tapping Fields to open the Fields panel. Inside here we have a whole range of fields, but if we move down you can see in there page number. So if I double tap on that, it puts a placeholder in the text frame. Now I am going to need to format that. Selecting it, I have a style available which is almost correct. At the moment you can see at the very top in my text panel it says no style. If I go in there and I open up the base style, and yours may not look like this, I have configured this so my styles are in a hierarchy. If you're looking to do that, you tap on the burger menu, you have a range of options. So I am showing the hierarchy and I'm also sorting it by type. But in here, it's almost the body style. Almost, but not quite. It needs to be a bit smaller. In the top menu where it says 10 points, I want that to be 8 points. So tapping on 8 and then tapping on OK. The other thing that I need to do with this is to centre it in that text frame. So tapping on the alignment and choosing Centre Align. At that point, it's perfect for what I want. It would be good though to make a style at this point. So what I'm going to do is tap the plus and I get the option to create a paragraph style, a character style or a group style. In this case it's a paragraph style that I want, so it opens up this window. It's telling me it's based on the body style, which is correct. But where it's saying body 1 at the top, I want this to be called page number. And at that point all I need to do is to tap OK. And I now have my style applied. Now one thing I am going to do with this is move it down a bit. It's a little bit close to the rest of the text, so I'll just move it down a bit. I now need to replicate that on the other page. It would be far easier to just copy it, but that wouldn't show you the second way to do this. So I'm going to create another text frame manually. I will endeavour to get it lined up with the other one, and then I'm going to tap in there and show you the second way that you can add a page number field, and that is to use the on-screen keyboard. Tapping the button at the bottom, that brings up the keyboard, and there is a special insert keyboard that you can use. The icon for this is on the left-hand side, just above the section key, or just to the left of the cut icon. So I'm going to tap on there. And that shows us many things that you can insert, all grouped together. So the first group is breaks, the second group is fields, and that's where we'll find the page number. But just to show you that you've also got symbols and maths, a whole range of other things in there. So moving back to fields and just tapping page number inserts the page number on the right hand side. Now it will remember the keyboard you have active. So because I've finished inserting, I'm going to tap the ABC and that will take me back to the standard keyboard, and then using the minimize button on the right, I will minimize that down and zoom into there. Double tapping that and then using the text panel, and I'm in text styles here, and you remember that I created that page number style. Tapping that applies it to the field and we are good to go. Coming out of the text panel, going back into the pages panel and double tapping on there so we can see that we have the field codes at the bottom. Now in the pages panel, going from masters back to pages and double tapping on these, let's take a look at what we now have. And pages 2 and 3 are marked as 2 and 3, and the table of contents is on 4 and 5. Moving down, the start of chapter 1 is page 7. Obviously, we need to fix all of that. And how we start to do that is using the section manager. If you're used to this on a desktop, it's in a totally different place, but it does the same job. Inside the pages panel at the bottom, you have access to sections. Tapping on that brings up the sections that are currently in this book. We only have one, section 1, and it covers the entire book. To add the extra sections, I'll start with the content of the book. Tapping the plus button, I now have section 2, which is pages 6 to 91. I need to drill down into that because I need to make some changes. The first page of this section is actually page 7. Tapping the plus increases it from page 6 to page 7. Then there is the option to continue the page numbering. And I don't want to continue the page numbering. I want to start again. I want to restart page numbering at page 1. The number style I want is correct. I do want it included on the export, and the section name is going to be book content. Then using the navigation arrow to navigate backwards, that shows me the 2 sections I now have. Next thing to do is to move back to where I want the next section, which is actually my table of contents. Bringing the pages panel up, it does remember that I was actually in the section manager at the time. So if I want to move back to pages, I can do that. And if I want to move to sections, I can tap at the bottom. And what I need to do here is add another section. Tapping the plus button again, it knows that this is prior to the book content. So it's placed it between section 1 and section 3. Tapping the arrow to drill down, and what I want here, I want it to start on page 5. I don't want to continue the previous numbering. I do want it to restart at 1. The number style I want, because it's the table of contents, is Roman numerals. So tapping on that and then finally giving it the section name of table of contents. And now let's have a look what we've got. Going back from the sections all the way to the pages. And on this page we have 1. On pages 2 and 3, we have 2 and 3. On the table of contents, we have 4 on the left and Roman numeral 1 on the right, which is correct. And on the chapter, we have Roman numeral 2 on the left and page 1 on the right. Clearly, more work to do. The page on the left on chapter 1, the page on the left with a table of contents, and both pages on the front matter don't need page numbers at all. That is not something we fix in the section manager. How we fix that is to create a new master page. Moving in from pages into masters, creating a new master by tapping the plus button, and we now have master B. This one does not have any page numbers at all, so that's the one that needs to be applied. Moving back to pages, and pages 2 and 3 there, I'm going to tap and hold on that and say apply master. It's going to apply to pages 2 and 3. At the moment, it's Master A. If I tap on Master A, I get this flyout that will either remove the master completely or allow me to choose a master to apply. And in this case, I want it to be Master B. And tap OK. Page numbers disappear from there. So let's move down to the table of contents. Now this one's slightly different because I don't want it to take the page number away from the table of contents on the right-hand side. Tapping and holding on the thumbnail for the pages, and selecting Apply Master, I can go and select Master B, But where it's saying specific pages and it's got 4 and 5, I only want this to apply to page 4. So I delete out the reference to page 5. And I do want to replace the existing, and I do want to migrate all of the content, and then just tap OK. And that takes away the page number on the left-hand page. That leaves us pages 6 and 7, which is Roman numeral 2 and page 1. And I need to do exactly the same thing there. So tap and hold, apply master, choose the master to be applied, which is master B, and to make sure that I'm only applying it to page 6, and tapping OK. But I'm not leaving it there. No, we're going to create a nested master. To do this, I'm going to the master pages and I'm tapping on master B. The reason I'm doing that is I'm going to add an image to it. So I need an image placeholder and draw that out so it covers the entirety of the 2 pages. At that point, I need to get to the image, which is on my camera roll, and it is that aged paper there. So that is now the background to master B. You can see that going into the masters. Master A is white, master B has that in the background. Navigating back to the pages, you can see where we have master B applied, which was pages 2 and 3. It has the background. Page 4 has the background and page 6 has the background. The rest of them do not. What I'm going to show you is the way that in the iPad version you can create nested masters. It is slightly different than the desktop version. Moving back to the master pages, on the desktop you are able to drag masters onto each other. You can't do that here. How you do it instead is you activate the master that you want to have another master applied to. In this case, master B. Tap and drag master B over to master A, but in the main area, not inside the panel, like that. At that point, I'm going to navigate backwards to pages, and now the nested master applies, and all of the pages have the aged background without needing to generate more master pages to do it. So let's have a recap. Page numbers are better added via the master pages. You access the master pages via the Pages panel, but using the arrows at the top. There are 2 ways to insert a page number field. First, you could use the Fields panel. Alternatively, you can use the Insert keyboard, which you'll find using the Insert button on the top of the on-screen keyboard. Use a text style to format the page numbers, and sections enable you to control both the page numbers displayed and their format. And you access the section manager from the bottom of the Pages panel. Finally, you can nest master pages to make it easier to format your entire book. And if you need to know how to do this on the desktop version, there is a video for that. The link is in the description. And if you'd like to learn more about text styles in Affinity Publisher, there is a deep dive available. And there's also a deep dive available for mastering master pages in Affinity Publisher. The links for those are in the description. If you want new tutorials and tips and tricks on a regular basis, check out my free training at elainegiles.com/VIP. Hit the subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss future tutorials. And if you have any requests for specific tutorials, be sure to contact me. I would love to hear from you. Thanks for watching and see you next time.